Miami, Fort Lauderdale. Sally Fitz, Peter Ford, meteorologist Bob Soper, and Brett Lewis with sports. This is the 6 o'clock hour of News Center 7.
The South Florida music business watches closely when a big-time record producer comes to town. The question asked, will this record put us on the map again? News Center 7's entertainment reporter Peter Lundquist says right now, all eyes are on twin sisters in a band called Gypsy Queen who are in the studio with a music heavyweight.
Who said that love was easy? And the music business isn't easy either. That's why when Gypsy Queen got the chance to record with a producer the caliber of Jack Douglas, Pam and Paulo weren't sure if it was all for real. In the studio with Douglas doing what he does.
When I started singing, all I could think of was, you know, oh my God, this huge guy, this huge producer, and he's worked with John Lennon, he's worked with The Who, and he's worked with so many people, and here I am, Miami singer. I felt a little embarrassed.
And now how does it feel?
Makes you feel damn good.
Love was easy. Who said that love was easy? It's just a crazy game.
Gypsy Queen is a group that's been around South Florida for years, and this isn't the first time they've been in the studio, but for some reason, this time it's working.
Well, it happened a couple days ago. We heard the rhythm tracks, and there wasn't even any vocals yet. And Pam and I were lavishing how great it sounded. This is the happiest recordings we've ever done, the best recordings we've ever done.
Putting credit where credit is due, Jack Douglas is a guy who's produced the best, but doesn't often work unknown acts. This time he saw something.
There's a certain magnetism that even draws an audience to a high school arena, or in the case of Cheap Trick, draws an audience to a bowling alley in Waukesha, Wisconsin. There's just something that's there.
Tomorrow night, what is it about Jack Douglas that makes him leave all the comforts of home to spend 16 hours a day in Quad Radio Studio in Miami on a gamble? He's right more than he's wrong. Peter Lundquist, News Center 7.
Those sisters sound great.
Good looking, too.
Wish him a lot of luck.
OSBN Channel 7, Miami, Fort Lauderdale. Sally Fitz, Peter Ford, meteorologist Bob Soper, and Brett Lewis with sports. This is the 6 o'clock hour of News Center 7.
Every year. Up next from the News Center, meet the music man who's helping shape the careers of two South Floridians.
Getting half a dozen musicians together and turning out a record that sells 1 million copies is a job only a couple of dozen people in the country can do. But one of them is here in South Florida, working with a band called Gypsy Queen. Tonight, News Center 7's entertainment reporter Peter Lundquist continues his special report on the band and on the producer who's making the record work.
No, because it's just verses.
Sitting in a studio watching Jack Douglas work is an eye-opener. He doesn't rave, doesn't scream, he just makes the music work. On this album, Jack says he's having an easy time. He can communicate with the people. It's not always that way.
I've worked with people who are very talented, but are very, very difficult to communicate with, and that can drive you absolutely up the wall. That makes a difference between a pleasurable recording session and one where you go home going, oh my God, what am I going to do?
Although he doesn't usually tackle projects with unknowns, he has in the past. Groups like Aerosmith and Cheap Trick, no longer unknown. He says you can spot a group that has that certain draw, like these two.
Because there are no records available from the band. There are people who come there because that's the only way they can get their fill of Gypsy Queen. They can get their Gypsy Queen fix.
It's the experience that does it. On top of all the platinum and gold albums Douglas has put together, the double fantasy album with John and Yoko.
It was like gaining 20 years of recording knowledge. I mean, he passed along all of his experiences to me. I mean, he was, at the end of a session, he would just sit and talk for about 2 hours about his whole past.
Platinum 8 times on that one. It's experience like that that'll make people sit up and take notice when they hear the Gypsy Queen album and say, Gypsy Queen? Who produced it?
I like to think that that all those experiences are, you know, now inside me, and they help me make other people's records.
Peter Lundquist, News Center 7.
Tonight, a local rock group is taking a crack at success. Two singing sisters shooting for stardom, and they're on their way with a debut album. From our Broward Bureau, here's Eyewitness News reporter Susan Candiotti on the night beat in Fort Lauderdale.
Not long from now, you may not have to ask who these women of rock are. They're Gypsy Queen, sultry, sassy redheads cutting their very first album at Fort Lauderdale's New River Studios. The Miami Mattioli sisters may also be the first popular twin rockers. That's Pam on your left, Paula on the right. Hard to tell apart even up close. Last spring, Gypsy Queen was featured in Playboy magazine, part of a Ladies in Rock issue. With that kind of exposure hasn't hurt other rockers like Madonna. The Mattiola twins figure their music will always speak louder than any pictures. As far as their music goes, nothing X-rated about Gypsy Queen lyrics, but that doesn't mean they approve of a new voluntary rating system for records.
When something might be suggestive or something might be taken wrong, that's where how do you draw the line? That's where that question should be posed. And that's like, you know, being too censored in this world. I don't know, it kind of frightens me.
It's a tough sell. It's hard to sell girls. Although in the last couple of years it's become, you know, increasingly easier, but they're good.
And that could mean a very bright future.
We have a wonderful, amazingly successful album, hopefully. You know, and other people do it, why can't we? Yes.
In Fort Lauderdale, Susan Candiotti, Channel 10 Eyewitness News on the Night Beat.
Still ahead, it looks like progress in the Dade Teachers Conference.
A new South Florida rock band is about to get a big break. As Eyewitness News Broward Bureau reporter Jerry Cohen explains, the group has a great gimmick they say is bound to sell. Shocks of red hair fling up and down, identical bodies bound and sway in a mirror image. Pam and Paula Mattioli are the singers for a South Florida rock band called Gypsy Queen. They're 1 minute apart in age, but miles ahead in sound. Red-headed rockers live in North Miami, and they've just signed an agreement with a big-name producer for a record deal. The twins have regional pride, and they say they won't forget their roots as they make their climb to the top of the charts.
Miami's been waiting to happen for a long time musically. It's happening movie-wise now. And musically, it has potential. There's a lot of good acts here and a lot of good bands. And why not? We have the facilities to do it.
Last April, Playboy magazine offered the 25-year-old twins the opportunity to be centerfold playmates. But due to the provocative nature of the spread, the girls opted instead to be in this January's issue, featured along with other women rockers. The cover story is called The Girls of Rock and Roll. It says you won't see this on MTV. You won't see it on Channel 10 either. The girls say they don't regret passing up the chance to be Playboy's center of attention.
You want to be respected as a songwriter and a musician and a singer, and that might be taken a little bit too far. Yeah.
The twins say they'll take their music as far as they can, though. Identical twins with but one destiny between them, a dream of the big time, and apparently the talent to make it happen. In Hallandale, Jerry Cohen, Channel 10 Eyewitness News.
Rock and roll will never die.
It certainly won't.
That wraps up this edition of Eyewitness News. Thank you for joining us.
In that case, it'll live twice as long. Ann Bishop and Mike Schneider are coming right up with Eyewitness News at 6.